Agile project trains over 400 guidance officers to boost support for adolescent girls in Gombe. Gombe Police announced 2-day shooting range exercise, urged public not to panic. Equal Women Fellowship Conference ends in Iliri with call for unity and stronger service. Good evening. Welcome to 25 News. My name is Patricia Caleb Sambo. The Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Agile project in Gombe State organized a one-day training for guidance and counseling officers drawn from over 400 schools across the state. The state project coordinator, Dr. Haruna Abu, says the training is aimed at strengthening the capacity of officers to provide proper guidance and support to adolescent girls under the project. Correspondent Sade Sariki Kumo completes a report.
The training held simultaneously at the Educational Resource Center and Government Science Secondary School Gombe brought together guidance and counseling officers and key stakeholders. Dr. Amina Haruna Abdul said the initiative is part of effort to improve the well-being and educational outcomes of adolescent girls benefiting from the Agile project.
So I'm really very happy to welcome every one of us to this training. Though it is a short notice, but we thank you for responding to the short notice and being with us today. We hope that the others will soon join us.
Resource persons, including Dr. Abubakar Umar Yuguda and Dr. Lukman Shinji Sadiq, emphasized that effective guidance services are critical to the success of the program. Agile officials also highlighted gender-based violence and social barriers as a major challenges affecting girls' education, urging officers to address such issues with urgency.
To go and demonstrate all that they will learn here, more especially on the issue of documenting these GVV cases because it's confidential.
Guidance officers must take GVV issues seriously and help remove barriers preventing girls from accessing education. Participants expressed appreciation for the training and pledged their commitment to supporting the project objectives.
The program is a very nice and good program, and inshallah what I learned here I will go and impact it to my students.
What I will do after having the knowledge in this workshop, I will try and go and cascade it.
Social and economic barriers remain key obstacles girls' enrollment in schools across the state. For GMC News, Saleh Sarkikumo reporting.
Thank you, Saleh Saliki, for that report. Olamido Akko Alhaji Muhammad Umar Atiku has called on traditional title holders in the area to actively contribute to the development of the entire emirate. The monarch made the call through the Yarin Akko Alhaji Usman Umar during the presentation of an appointment letter to the district head of Ogo, Alhaji Abdi Galadima, who was named the first deputy John Akko. The event took place at the residence of the district head. Representing the Lamido, the Yarin Akko stated that the appointment of Alhaji Abdi Galadima was a recognition of his loyalty and contribution to the emirate, adding that the new title comes with greater responsibilities in service to the community. Speaking on behalf of the family, Alhaji Abubakar Usman Ajian Gona expressed gratitude to the Lamido for honoring one of their own with the title. He also appreciated the Lamido secretary and his delegation for their presence at the occasion. In their remarks, the son of the appointee, Alhaji Garkuwa Galadima, alongside the Sarkin Yomman Bogo, Malam Babauru Muhammad, expressed confidence that the new Deputy John Akko will justify the trust bestowed on him and discharge his duties diligently. The Gombe North Voters Awareness Forum has called on political stakeholders in Gombe State to prioritize credible and capable candidates ahead of the 2027 general elections. A cross-section of youths under the forum made the call in an interview in Gombe, emphasizing the need for quality leadership that will address the challenges facing the people. The youths, including Ibrahim Sani, Musa Abdullahi, Zainab Usman Aisha Bello, and Fatima Adamu, also urged Engineer Saad Abubakar Abdullahi, Wajidat in Gombe, to contest the Gombe North senatorial seat in the 2027 general elections. He noted that his track record and commitment to community development have earned him widespread support, particularly among young people across the district. The forum expressed confidence that if he accepts the call to run, he will provide effective representation and contribute to the overall development of the constituency. It added that it hopes he will respond positively in the interest of improved leadership. The Gombe State Police Command has announced a routine shooting range exercise scheduled to take place on Tuesday, April 14th and Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. According to a press release issued by the command's public relations officer, DSP Buhari Abdullahi, the exercise will run daily from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Gombe Military Shooting Range in Luji Hills. The command has advised members of the public, particularly residents and commuters in the surrounding area, not to panic at the sound of gunshots during the exercise. They are also urged to avoid unnecessary movement near the range for safety reasons, while parents are encouraged to caution their children. The police further called on the public to comply with all instructions given by security personnel on duty. The command expressed appreciation for the understanding and cooperation of residents as it continues efforts to ensure public safety. The Equa Human Fellowship Conference of Tangale DCC Zone A has successfully ended, recording a massive turnout of participants at this year's event held at Kalumai Primary School in Iliri Local Government area. In her remarks, the chairperson of Iliri Local Government, Mrs. Egla Idris, represented by the Secretary of the Local Government, Mr. Augustine Kurungu, congratulated the women on the successful completion of the conference. She urged him to live in unity and love, to apply the lessons learned during the program in their respective homes. She also wished them safe journeys back to their destinations. Also speaking, the chairman of Tangale DCC, Reverend Ezra Edie, expressed gratitude to God for the success of the conference and encouraged participants to put into practice the teachings they received. The Assistant Secretary, Mrs. Linda Yunusa, commended participants from various local church councils for their cooperation and orderly conduct throughout the conference. She further appealed for continuous support towards strengthening future women fellowship activities. In his sermon, the guest preacher, Reverend Nathan Burka, reminded the women of the importance of dedicating their time, resources, and active participation to the growth and propagation of the fellowship. Similarly, the Christian Education Officer, Mr. Abner Lanash, praised the women for their commitment and participation, as well as their support and cooperation with leaders throughout the program. Highlight of the conference included song ministrations by various women groups. Worshippers across the Global Methodist Church Northern Nigeria Conference, GMC, and the Lutheran Church of Christ in Nigeria, LCCN, have been urged to reflect on the spiritual significance of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ as Christians mark the first Sunday after the Easter season. Living sermons, Reverend Karaichi Lawyer and guest speaker Timos Tuben encourage congregants to strengthen their faith in God by embracing righteousness and extending forgiveness to those who may have wronged them, noting that such virtues allow the presence of God to dwell among believers. At Ekwa Ebenezer Nainawa, the minister in charge, Reverend Hussein Abba, called on members to show love, care, and compassion to one another, in line with the example of Jesus Christ during his earthly ministry. He gave the church, during the church's Friends Day week celebration, describing the program as an annual event aimed at strengthening unity, mutual understanding, and spiritual growth among members while encouraging them to support one another in times of need. Meanwhile, Christians have also been advised to let go of bitterness and embrace forgiveness in their daily lives. Reverend Andrew Yusuf Ekwa Macedonia Bagadaza made the appeal during his Sunday sermon, stressing that God is pleased with those who forgive others. He warned that hatred, criticism, pride, inhumanity, and lack of repentance can hinder believers from experiencing God's presence. Clerics in Gombe State have called on Christians to uphold peace, unity, and responsible citizenry in society. At Echo No. 1 Church, Bolari, Reverend Joel Delty urged Christians to live as true followers of Christ by promoting harmony and obtaining their permanent voters' cards. To participate in elections and support credible leadership, he also prayed for lasting peace in the community.
Sakamakon girman kai shi shedan ubangiji ya zanko shi daga sama zuwa duniya to amma har yanzu ubangiji ya sake wata shiri musamman ta wurin tilonsa Yesu Almasihu domin ya daidaita ya sake dawo da mutum a cikin zumunta tsakaninsa da mutum wanda yau kuma ya sake ba mu wasu ka'idoji da yake bukata mu yi biyayya da su asalin da yake gaban bin adama yau shine idan muka gagara yin biyayya da koyar son maganar Allah hakika sakamakon wancan koyar son ga wadanda suka taurare suka yi rashin biyayya suka bijire suka yi biyayya da shaidan hakika ubangiji Allah zai kai su ga wuta.
Similarly, at Etkwa Church, Ongwamada Pastor Hassan Dauda thanked God for the peaceful Good Friday and Easter celebrations while calling on Christians to sustain unity and peaceful coexistence. He also encouraged people of all faiths to work together for stability in the state. At Ekwa Church, Burundi, Reverend Umaru Haruna Dodo advised Christians to remain steadfast in their faith and urged petroleum marketers to consider reducing fuel prices to ease hardship.
Da muka je Yohana Sura 21 a wurin Yesu ya kira shi wanda ya yi musunsa da cewa ko yana ƙaunarsa domin ya damka masa aiki da nawaya na aikin da zai bar masa tun da zai bar duniya da kuma sama.
At Ekwa Church, Oji Estate, Reverend James Guyus encouraged believers to strengthen their relationship with God and continue praying for peace in Gombe State and the country. To end the news report, here's a recap of the headlines. We brought to you a report that the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Agile project in Gombe State has conducted a one-day capacity building training for guardians and counseling officers drawn from more than 400 schools across the state. The training held at the Educational Resource Center and Government Secondary School, Gombe, brought together education stakeholders to strengthen support systems for adolescent girls under the Agile program. We also reported that the Gombe State Police Command has announced a routine shooting range exercise scheduled for Tuesday, April 14th and Wednesday, April 15, 2026 at the Gombe Military Shooting Range in Luji Hills. According to a statement by the Command's Public Relations Officer, DSP Buhari Abdullahi, the exercise will hold daily from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And finally, the Equa Women Fellowship Conference of Tangale DCC Zone A has successfully ended at Kalmai Primary School in Billig Local Government Area with a large turnout of participants. Dignitaries and church leaders commended the women for the successful gathering and urged them to uphold unity, love, and the practical application of lessons learned during the conference in their homes and communities. That's 5 News. Thank you for staying with us.